Welcome! I would like to start off with a disclaimer. If you are in an emergency situation where a deaf person is involved, it is vital and required that you prioritize getting an interpreter to help with accessible and clear communication, especially in an emergency. That being said, it's important to know that interpreters might not always be readily available. However, it's extremely beneficial and impactful if emergency and healthcare personnel know a few signs. The best place to start is learning the alphabet in sign language, so you're able to fingerspell any word. It's also important to remember that not all deaf people know sign language. So the first thing you should ask is, use sign? And this is the sign for sign. The next word is emergency. 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 The next sign is hospital. Using the H hand shape, you then draw a cross on your arm, and that is the sign for hospital. Hospital. The next sign is a directional sign, which means you can use this sign to indicate who is helping who. This word is help. Using your palm and your dominant hand as a thumbs up, you sign help. If you are helping me, I move it to me. And if I am helping you, I would move the sign out to you. Next word is pain. This sign is a location-specific sign representing where the pain is. Here is the general sign for pain. This is the sign for headache, closer to your head, pain in the stomach, and pain in the shoulder. Next, I will show you some confirmation signs. This is the sign for yes, and here's the sign for no. You may encounter a deaf individual who's unable to move. Therefore, it's important you know the signs for yes and no as opposed to just relying on head movements. It's also important to know the location of the pain. This is the sign for where. 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 The next sign is ambulance. Here's the sign for ambulance. It looks like the lights on top of the ambulance. Friendly reminder, an interpreter is required for accessibility, and here is the sign for interpreter. 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 Allergies can be dangerous in emergency situations. Here's the sign for allergy. First, you touch your nose, and then using both index fingers, you move them in opposite directions. Visually, the sign looks like it needs to be far away from you, on the opposite side of your person. You may have a fever, or you're sweating, or just generally feeling unwell. You may be sick. Here's the sign for sick. With open palms, you use your two middle fingers and you place them on your head and your stomach. Next is the sign for cold. 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 On the flip side, the next word is hot. You place your hand in a claw shape. Hot. Hot. The next one is pretty visually clear. The word is fire. It looks just like the flames in a fire. Fire. You may need to inform someone that the cops or the police are on their way, and here are two different ways to sign it. Cop. Cop. You can also sign it like this, cop. And last but not least, To provide relief in emergency settings, here's the sign for safe. Using the S letter hand shape on both hands, you start with them crossed and you move them outwards. Safe. You are safe. Learning these basic signs can be extremely helpful and beneficial to the deaf and hard of hearing people in our community. Thank you so much for learning.